deep in the mountains of the Philippine Islands, live a species of animals called PPVs. These large, muscular, four-legged creatures are ubiquitous in these lands. They're like buffaloes, utilitarian workhorses, but a lot more powerful and a lot more stylish.
Guys, behind me is a new species of PPV. It's called a Nissan Terra. It's quite a majestic creature. Let's take a closer look at it. Have to be quiet. Ano yan? Car review channel to, the National Geographic. At least, anyway, this behind me is the new Nissan Terra VL 4x4. So last time I only got to drive it for a couple of hours. This time I'll actually get to live with it for a week. So we'll try to get a better approximation of what the ownership experience is like. We'll take it on our daily trips. We'll take it on a light off-road trail to this location right here, somewhere in Rizal.
Is it worth your money? Let's find out.
So this was an exciting and confusing year for PPV enthusiasts. Exciting because we now have a lot more options, and confusing because we now have a lot more options. So that's what we're here for, to sort out which of these PPVs is the best match for you. So in a couple of weeks, I'll upload a best PPV of the year video, and we'll rank the different PPVs in different categories, and we'll select one overall winner. Watch out for that. In the meantime, let's take a quick look at the new Nissan Terra again. So this has been out for a couple of months now, so you probably know that it has quad LED projector headlamps, it has LED fog lamps, it has a new larger V-motion grille, and basically the entire front end has been redesigned, so it now looks like a small Nissan Patrol. So usually it takes a while for a new car to grow on me. Like when the new Fortuner LTD or Limited was released, I didn't like it at first, but it has grown on me. When the new MU-X was launched, I didn't like it so much at first, but it has grown on me. This is one of those PPVs that looked okay to me from the start. The styling, I would say, is pretty safe. It's not as avant-garde as the MU-X or the Fortuner Limited. You have straighter lines, you have more conservative angles. You got plenty of chrome accents, which give it a more luxurious but less sporty look. I think the front end looks the least aggressive, but it still has these massive fender bulges that you would expect from a large diesel PPV. And they give the Terra a more muscular look. And that's something that its competitors are starting to do without. So this gets 18-inch wheels. They're 2 inches smaller than the wheels of the MU-X. For pickups, I don't mind 17-inch wheels, but for premium SUVs like this, I think 20s would definitely look a lot better. The Nissan Terra is the second biggest PPV in the segment, next to the Ford Everest. And as you can see, I'm 5'8" and it's a couple of inches taller than me. So these are the dimensions. Yeah, so here on the side, it's almost the same as the pre-facelift Terra, except that you get a new garnish over there, you get new wheels, and a couple of new minor things. So here at the back, it now gets new LED tail lamps, which look conspicuously familiar. So the Terra is the only top-of-the-line PPV in the segment that doesn't come with a power tailgate. So you can see it's quite heavy. So that may be a big deal for you or maybe not, but there are aftermarket solutions to this. You can have a power mechanism installed, and I'm not sure how much that is going to cost, but at least you know that's a possibility. So in here you get this much space. So as you can see, we have a mountain bike here because we'll try to do a bit of cycling today. I haven't been to the gym in almost 2 years since the pandemic, so I think I need to lose some weight. By the way, this is something that you can't do on the Toyota Fortuner because on the Fortuner, the third row seats fold to the sides, so they take up horizontal space. So in here, all the seats fold flat and even have some space here for extra stuff. So I've shown you this interior before, and I just want to say that it's still one of the best in the segment. I love the two-tone burgundy and black interior. I love these aluminum looking accents over here. I love how these knobs feel. They have a satisfying click to them. They feel like expensive knobs. Also, this may not be the most high-tech in the segment, but it feels like it because you're surrounded by technology here. Aside from the nice screen, you also get a wireless charger over here. Even the rear view mirror is partly electronic. So if you flip it down like this, you can see the feed from the rear camera. And if you flip it down like this, it acts like a regular rear view mirror. So if you have tall passengers in the back, you can just flip it like this, and their big noggins are not going to obstruct your vision. And the seats are some of the nicest and some of the most comfortable in the segment. I love the quilting on it, and yeah, they're called zero gravity seats, and still not sure why, but they're comfortable. I like the fact that you don't get a lot of black buttons here. The most noticeable one is this one, the one where you would expect the auto hold function, but that would have been a very welcome feature here. But yeah, you do get a wireless phone charger, which you can only get on the Terra and also the top of the line Fortuner. And you also get this. So this would be useful not just for playing movies, but also if you have a PlayStation, you can plug it in through the HDMI outlet at the back, and you can play games through here. That is a 10-inch screen, by the way. And the screen. This is not the biggest screen in the segment, but I think it's one of the better looking ones. The resolution's pretty good, the pixel density is pretty good, and it's also pretty smooth. So you have Apple CarPlay, you have Android Auto, and you also get a surround view camera. So let's see if it's funny as well. Tell me a joke.
This might make you laugh. How do you wake up Lady Gaga?
How?
Poker face.
The MU-X was funnier. If you have Android Auto, you can access your apps, like you can access Spotify, you can access your Messenger, Viber, etc. So it's definitely a convenient feature to have. Yeah, because of the bezel, it looks like it's actually bigger than it is. And you also get knobs and also buttons. Okay, so we're now
right.
Okay, so we're now driving the Nissan Terra in the city. So, so the features that I miss the most here are adaptive cruise control and auto brake hold function, which are very helpful in stop and go traffic. Before I got this, I had the Isuzu MU-X for a week, and I used the adaptive cruise of the MU-X extensively, especially in stop and go traffic. So this does not have adaptive cruise, and it doesn't have a brake hold function, which means that your feet have to do a bit more work. But on the plus side, I think the ride quality of this is much better than the MU-X, and definitely the sound insulation here is much better. You don't hear the engine as much. You don't feel the potholes. It almost feels buttery smooth, at least for a PPV. At slower speeds like this, you definitely will appreciate the softer suspension. Like I said, they make the ride better, they absorb road imperfections better. But they also make the ride a bit willowy. So if you have to quickly change lanes, you'll feel a lot more body roll. It almost feels like you're driving a boat. Yeah, so I don't think we'll go to Rizal today. The weather's bad. We'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. Today we'll have we'll go to UP. Places to eat at UP Diliman.
Okay, handing off to Waze.
Here are the search results for places to eat at Up Diliman.
The food nuke. Okay, let's try the food nuke. Okay, so we're now ordering drive-thru. Yeah, so this may not be the best example, but you know how some drive-thrus are very tight, and if you're driving a large vehicle like this, it can be a bit uncomfortable. Yeah, so having a 360 camera like this definitely helps. So like I said, when I drove this the last time, I only had an hour with it. And when I first drove it, I thought the steering wheel was very heavy. And I think that was mostly because I drove it in very heavy traffic. Of course, in lighter traffic, it lightens up a lot. And also, I didn't like the soft suspension at first. It felt very wildy for me. But when I got used to it, it's not so bad. As long as you know what to expect. Don't expect this to ride like a sporty SUV, and you wouldn't be disappointed. And for some reason, I only get to appreciate the quietness of it now. And I think it's mostly because I drove the MU-X before this, and the engine of the MU-X is a lot more audible.
In a pet shop on the right onto Short Street.
Okay, I'm doing 100 kph at around 1,700 RPM. So far, EDVH levels are pretty good. I'm not getting a lot of wind noise, I'm not getting a lot of tire noise. And because your engine is not revving so high, I don't get a lot of engine noise. So far I'm averaging 14.5 kpl on the highway. And I can't seem to get it higher than that for some reason. In the city, I get about 8.5 in heavy traffic, about 10.5 in moderate traffic. So it is fuel efficient, but a bit less fuel efficient than the Isuzu D-Max with a 3-liter engine. So the Terra has the same engine as the pre-facelift Terra. It has 187 horsepower and 450 Newton meters of torque. But it feels like it has more than that. Power is immediate. There's not a lot of lag. You have power at the bottom, and it doesn't run out of breath at the top. So it may not have the highest horsepower or torque, but it never felt lacking. Now, as for the competition, there are two new other PPVs released this year, the Fortuner and the MU-X. The main advantage of the Fortuner LTD or Limited is that it has adaptive cruise control and a power tailgate. But the ride of the Fortuner is a lot less comfortable, the suspension is a lot stiffer, and I think the biggest disadvantage of the Fortuner is the third row. They take up a lot of space. The advantage of the MU-X is that it has adaptive cruise and it has a power tailgate. But the MU-X doesn't have a 360 camera and a wireless charger. I think the third row of the MU-X though is a lot more comfortable, and it's an all-new model, unlike the Terra, which is just a facelift. So we're now driving over loose sand. We're gonna go into 4 high. One advantage of the Terra over the MU-X is that it has a differential lock, which should come in handy if you're on surfaces with loose traction or when you're on uneven surfaces. So this is it's a bit dry right now. Usually this is mud. Right now it's sand. But yeah, the ride quality of the Terra is definitely a lot better than the MU-X, and it becomes really obvious on terrains like this. You're swaying left and right, but you're never crashing into the dips. Hindi masakit sa likod, definitely. Okay, so it gets a bit worse here. Let's see. Oh, we have mud. We like mud. Okay. So So on this surface, one side of the vehicle is in mud and the other side is on solid dirt, so you have uneven traction on the two sides of the car, and having a differential lock will definitely be helpful here. Yeah, easy peasy. Can turn it off now. So yeah, this is quasi off-roading. It's not really that challenging. There's no chance that they'll damage the car, but it can be challenging if you have a 4x2 vehicle, because the challenge here really is traction, not really. Okay, we're gonna do our shoot right here, my usual spot. Look at that view, man. Ang init. By the way, this right here is a Nacto mountain bike. It's a hybrid bike, so it means that you can pedal manually, or you can use the electric motor to assist you in pedaling, or you can also use it like an electric scooter where you don't have to pedal. Yeah, I know I'm not exactly dressed for the occasion, but just pretend that I'm wearing proper cycling attire. I'll do a full review of this in the future. For now, let's take it out for a spin. So initially I thought of going higher up and exploring the mountains of Rizal using the bike, maybe to find more species of PPV, but it was too hot and I was alone, so I decided to just go around in circles just to be able to say that I used the bike. But I found these locals who are quite enamored with the bike. Huh? I'm from QC, Quezon City.
Hindi ko naintindihan. Ano po?
Quezon City, alam mo yung Quezon City? Lapit lang, dito lang.
Lapit lang.
Hindi ko naintindihan.
Mukha po kasi kayo, American.
So I let them ride the bike just around here. I could tell that they had a lot of fun, and it felt good to bring some joy to these locals, especially during this Christmas season. And I think they were convinced by my Australian accent because they thought I was a foreigner. Anyway, I told them to subscribe, so hello to you guys if you're watching the video.
Sanjo. So, ano tingin niyo sa bike na to? Ganda ba?
Maganda po. Maganda po.
Ano tingin niyo dito? Ganda ba?
Maganda din po.
Ganda rin?
Parang sa mga commercial sa TV. Ayun po.
So we're done cycling and the bike is back in the Terra. As you can see, it's very easy to put it back in the Terra because you have a lot of space. It's now almost sunset, so let's enjoy the view. So the sun is about to set over there. And one good thing about having a 4x4 vehicle like this is that you can access places like this without having to worry that you'll get stuck. Now check out that view. So after spending a week with the Terra, I still have about 2/3 of a tank. I took it to the great outdoors. I took it to Bulacan via NLEX. I did daily errands with it. By the way guys, this is Rambo. I drove him to his favorite groomer's place and back using the Terra. And I think he enjoyed the ride. He's quite a picky dog, so that says a lot. So the new Nissan Terra is definitely a huge improvement over the previous one. I think in terms of NVH levels and ride quality, this is one of the best in the segment. It also has one of the best interiors. The only thing missing really is adaptive cruise and the power tailgate. But if those are features that you think you can do without, then this might be the right PPV for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.